What a beautiful evening. What a beautiful group of people. I'm Nathan Fletcher, Chair of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors, and I use he, him, his, and we welcome all of you to the County Administration Center for this beautiful night. Thank you all for being here. You're going to hear from her in a minute, but I want to give a special shout out here to my sister, was adopted, yes. Honorarily adopted, the Vice Chair of the Board of Supervisors. Give a big round of applause for this incredible leader in our county, Nora Vargas. So tonight, we're going to raise the Pride Progress flag. We're going to light the county in honor and recognition of Pride. Now, a few of y'all were there the first time the Pride flag flew over a county building. That was up at the COC in Kearney Mesa. A few of you were right here the first time it flew over the County Administration Center. A few of you have been here for every one of these milestones and occasions, whether it's recognizing the community of our trans, the commitment of our trans community and our love and empathy and compassion for them. But time and again, we are here to put the County Board of Supervisors and the county government on record that we love each and every one of you exactly how you are, and that's a county government that you deserve. We've been doing Shine Bright with Pride with our LGBTQ&A employee rights group since I got into office, and I'm honored to have them join us tonight, and I would like each of our county employees to raise your hand or stand up and wave at us a little bit and give a big round of applause for our county workers. County motive says the noblest motive is the public good, but none of that gets done without our county workers. Nora and I can introduce all the board letters and have all the votes and do all of that, but it is the day in and day out work of our county workers who go out every single day and they take care of our foster kids. They keep our community safe. They help people that are facing addiction. They sign people up who need help and assistance. They clean our buildings. They clean our parks. And they do all of that. And for all of our county workers here, I want you to know that your county appreciates you and values you. And in particular, for our LGBTQ&A employee resource group, you got a board of supervisors that now isn't afraid to say that we love you. And we welcome you and we want you to be who you are in our county family. So thank you again to all the county workers who are here. Shine Bright with Pride is really about uplifting and celebrating all that makes us strong, our community members, our loved ones. We know that all of you here, you make our society whole. You make us more vibrant. If you've ever been to any of the Pride events, you know you make us a little more festive, right? A little more out there, and this is a wonderful thing in San Diego County. But we recognize and acknowledge that tonight we are here on the anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. It was this date in 1969 where black and brown, queer and transgender individuals said enough with how they were being treated, the continual raids and violence from police at the Stonewall end. Pride would not have been possible. The progress we see today would not have been possible without those early pioneers, those early leaders. We stand today, and although, look, we're still in a fight to preserve the rights that we've seen over the last few years, and make no mistake, they are under assault. But we would not be where we are today without those early leaders, those heroic voices who, when it wasn't popular, when it wasn't celebrated with flag raisings and building lightings and ceremonies and events, but they had the courage to go out and lead and to fight. And so tonight we pay homage and we recognize our deepest appreciation and gratitude for all of those who were early involved in this fight that paved the way to make it easy. Thank you for everyone who's been there. The organizers who marched and took the streets, the advocates who fought in the legislative arenas. I'm reminded of our pioneering leaders here in San Diego, folks like Chris Kehoe, who broke through that barrier and paved a way and a path for leaders like Tony Atkins, Chris Ward, Stephen Whitburn, and Todd Gloria, and so many others who are here because of those early efforts. We think of the lawyers who engaged in the legal arena and legal fight, the folks who went out and organized, and I believe our county government has a great responsibility to make sure we create an inclusive environment. I believe that those of us who stand before you as allies have a big responsibility to be a vocal voice, to stand forward and talk about what's right, that inherent dignity and respect that is present in each and every one of us as a person, regardless of our gender or our orientation, it doesn't matter. And that is the part of being a path to a more perfect union, is paving that path. And I've been honored to have our Board of Supervisors move, not just with lighting the building or raising a flag, but with changing our policies. Creating our Human Relations Commission. I see our chair, Ellen Nash, is here, a body that is focused on an effort. And now look, we're all going to acknowledge we got some work to do. We still got some legacy mindsets and attitudes that are still around today. And we have to continue to confront those. We have to continue to engage in that fight and in that effort to make sure that everyone feels welcome and to know that bigotry and discrimination has no place here. And we will continue on those efforts. We created our Office of Equity and Racial Justice, our county inclusivity policy, to make sure that everyone is comfortable who is here. We're changing our public-facing documents. We're trying to create a culturally responsive and inclusive community, and we have a lot further to go. But for those of you that have watched San Diego County for any number of years, you know it is a much different board today than it was in the past. And that is something that we should celebrate while recognizing we have a long way to go. So tonight, we are here to celebrate. But a part of that celebration forces us to recognize the reality of what's happening nationally. The reality at times, it seems, for every step forward or 2 steps forward, we take a few steps back. We should celebrate the progress we've made, but we have to recommit ourselves, because make no mistake about it, the efforts to repeal Roe are not just an effort to take away reproductive choice. It is an effort to undermine constitutional protections for each and every individual. And you got to know that every election out there matters. And every day matters. And telling the story and being in the fight matters. As a cis straight white man, I am here to say I'm with you in this fight. And I will continue to be each and every single day to make sure that we can honor the commitment of giving future generations, many of whom are here with us tonight, giving you a better world, a little more free, a little more equal, a little more just. And then we're going to be counting on all of you to step into your place and continue in this struggle and in this effort, because the path to a more perfect union is long. At times it's a little bit rocky, but it is a road that we want to be on. So congratulations for tonight. We're going to have a wonderful evening. We're going to recognize some incredible leaders in our community. But starting with that, I'm going to have you hear from someone who comes up and has electrified this board. A fighter, an effective governing leader who knows how to get stuff done, someone who never holds back, who fights for her community in San Diego, and someone I am honored every single day to be able to serve with. Please give a big welcome to the Vice Chair of the Board of Supervisors, Nora Vargas.
I tell the chair I'm going to bring him with me everywhere I go. Anyway, buenas noches. A ver, come on. Buenas noches. You all got this. We live in a binational community, right? Anyway, I want to say thank you to Chair Fletcher. Under his leadership, there's been a lot of opportunities for us to do really great work before we even got here, right? Before the board changed. And so I'm super excited about the work that we've been able to do in a year and a half. And I think some of you may or may not know we passed a really good budget today. Yeah, a budget that had equity, a budget that really talked about inclusivity, and so it's the whole put your money where your mouth is, right? Put your mouth with your money. Algo así. Anyway, as we celebrate Pride, it's really an honor for me to be here with all of you today, because it's been a tough week. It's been a tough week because I think most of you who know me know that I've been in the reproductive justice movement for about 30 years, right? And a lot of the work that I had done prior to becoming an elected official really was in partnership with the LGBTQ plus community. From being a founder of Honor PAC, right, the only Latino political action committee in the state, or being actively engaged to make sure that at Planned Parenthood and the work that the work that we were doing around our trans community at Planned Parenthood nationally and statewide, all those things were very important to me. But now here we are. And like I said to somebody, I feel like I'm grieving a little bit, right? And I don't want to be a David Downer, because what we're here to do today is to celebrate. But I think it's important that we all give ourselves a little bit of time to acknowledge some of the challenges that we're facing. And more importantly, to remember that we're not alone. Look at the people who are right next to you, right? They're going to march with you. They're going to fight with you. We're here for you. We're at the front lines. We're going to get this shit done, right? Because it's not okay. It's not okay because when they come for me, right? And they come for my reproductive rights. Oh, I think he did it on purpose. When they come for my, es cierto. When, kidding, I'm kidding. I love this man. He's wonderful. But for me, right, it's when they're coming for me and my rights, they're also coming for all of us. And I think that all we can do is really work hard to make sure that we're moving forward. And, you know, I say to folks, right, we've done really good stuff, right? We've inclusive pronoun policies for our county employees. And yes, I forgot to mention, right, I my pronouns are she, her, ella, right? So don't forget the ella. And, you know, we've been able to implement non-binary gender, you know, documents, et cetera, et cetera. But I think the most important thing that we can do as a community and as people and as allies is to make sure that when we're seeing the injustices, when we're seeing things happen in front of us, that we put a stop to it. And I think that's what we're doing by leading by example here at the County of San Diego. And we're trying to change things pretty quickly, right? Things that had needed to be changed for a long, long time. I will say that it's been tough to see the hate crimes that have risen in numbers, particularly for our trans community, particularly for our communities of color, our Latinos, and our Black transgender community. But we're gonna keep fighting because we're gonna do everything we can to make sure that our civil rights are not stripped away. And that today, when we have an opportunity to raise that flag, I wanna make sure that you're all looking at it and you remember that that's a symbol of who we are in unity, right? That together we're going to be able to make a difference. And yes, I'm very proud to be the first Latina, first woman of color on the Board of Supervisors, and I'm not going to be the last, for sure. What I will say to you is that I am going to continue to do the work that I was doing even before I became elected, making sure that our kids in the South Bay have a place to go, right? The work that we've done through the LGBT Center when I was on the board, the work that we've done to make sure that people have information in different languages. Es sumamente importante para mí que la gente sepa que en nuestras comunidades, no importa a quién quieras o a quién amas, a todos vamos a aceptarlos. Porque en nuestras comunidades es importante que la gente sepa que nuestras familias y nuestras comunidades van a hacer todo lo posible para que la comunidad de LGBTQ tenga el acceso, que tenga lo que necesita y que vamos a estar aquí para abogar y para ser compañeros en esta jornada, porque más que nada ahora tenemos que trabajar juntos para salir adelante, porque cuando nos están haciendo daño a uno, nos están haciendo daño a todos. Así que orgullosamente les digo que a mí me da mucho orgullo ser una aliada, me da mucho orgullo estar aquí con ustedes y más que nada que vamos a tener la fortuna ahora de tener una bandera de Pride que en realidad va a demostrarle a todo el mundo que estamos unidos. And so it's wonderful for me to be here. And all I said was that you all are amazing and that I love Pride. So happy Pride, everyone. Thank you.
I know what you said. Habla español.
I know.
Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer is unable to join us today. She's caring for her daughter. But I want to recognize that Supervisor Lawson-Remer is the first openly non-binary and pansexual county supervisor and an incredible part of our coalition. And let's give Tara a big round of applause. Now we're going to hear from a few folks and recognize them. And this is the best part of this show, is the opportunity to highlight so many of our leaders, and there's so many. We don't have enough hours in the day. The building would be lit, the sun would come back up again. But I think it is really appropriate that we take this moment to recognize some of our great leaders. First up, there would be none other powerful leader in our community from a date that no one will ever really know for certain how long Nicole's been active in our community. That'll remain top secret, classified effort. But I will tell you that Nicole Murray Ramirez is the last living founding member of the original Pride in 1974. We honor Nicole, we recognize, and we ask you to come up and please join us this evening. Big round of applause for my dear friend, Nicole Murray Ramirez.
Thank you. And thank you for your service, not only to our great nation, but to our county. And Nora, in honor of you and your activism and your leadership in Planned Parenthood, we are donating $1,000 in your name to the local chapter and behalf of Gossip Grill, who did a great benefit for Planned Parenthood. I think we should take a moment of silence for the 50 migrants who died yesterday in a heated, abandoned van in Texas. Thank you. 50 years ago, on this very night, LGBT people rioted in the Stonewall Inn against police brutality. 48 years ago, this month, the late Vietnam veteran Jess Jessup, Attorney Tom Homan, and I went down to the police station and tried to get a permit for our first Pride Parade. And the sergeant at the desk said, and I quote, there he is. This is what he said: there will never be a gay pride parade in San Diego. We marched anyway. I want to acknowledge Fernando Lopez and San Diego Pride for helping make us the largest civic parade in the history of San Diego. You know, last week I was giving a speech at the Stonewall Inn in New York, and as I stopped by to look upon the National LGBTQ Wall of Honor, and now over 50 of our community's pioneers, heroes, trailblazers, whose shoulders we stand on, I knew my Stonewall generation had a message for you during these troubling and difficult times, not only for our community, indeed our nation. They would want me to tell you that we survived the witch hunts of the McCarthy era and a presidential executive order against us in the 1950s. We have survived the police raids and brutalities against us in the 1960s. Yes, we have survived the times that with just a stroke of a pen and the signatures of your parents or a judge, homosexuals were committed many times to state hospitals, subjected to electric shock treatment and lobotomies, never to return the same. Yes, we survived the hate and homophobic campaigns of Anita Bryant, John Briggs, and Jerry Falwell. We even survived those early dark years of AIDS when some even proposed that gay men be put on deserted islands or in camps. And now as I stand before you, we see some of that same hate and homophobic crusades coming back. We have once again become targets. As I passed by that wall in the Stonewall Inn, as I passed by the names of Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, and Empress Jose on that wall, I could hear Marsha, Sylvia, and Jose's voice whispering in my ear in that Whoopi Goldberg type voice, "You in danger, girl." Yes, our LGBT community does not need a Paul Revere telling us the Proud Boys are coming, the Proud Boys are coming. For in fact, we know they've always been here. But now they have come out of their dark sewer and into the light. But listen well. This time, these homophobic campaigns of the radical right are different. For they are also targeting Black Americans' access and the right to vote. They have targeted and attacked our Jewish community. And in targeting the Asian Pacific Islander community, they have awoken a proud sleeping giant. They have targeted even stronger those against gun control. Yes, indeed, they are not only targeting us, but have targeted immigrants, asylum seekers, and dreamers, trying to make them the boogeyman of politics. And our message today to the radical right is clear and simple. We will not rest. We will fight you in the streets, courts, halls of Congress, and in the polls in November until every woman in America has a right to control her own body. And as for you trying to erase our transgender community, When you screw with the T in LGBTQ, you screw with all of us. In closing, I say to you, my LGBTQA+ community, wake up. For a war has not only been declared on us, but also on women, people of color, the Jewish community. So the message of your Stonewall generation is this: we must all unite and build stronger bridges and outreach to other communities, causes, and issues. They must become our issues and causes. And we must not only be engaged and be involved in the political suites, S-U-I-T-E-S, of power, but ready to go back into the streets, S-T-R-E-E-T-S. We of the LGBTQ+ community are ready for the battle ahead of us. And just as we fought Anita Bryant in her Oranges of Hate in the 1970s, we stand ready to fight the homophobic campaigns of an orange-faced ex-president and his followers. And then the great American tradition I leave you with: don't tread on us, for we have only begun to fight by any means necessary. Si se puede. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Nicole, for joining us. Next, I want to introduce another powerful leader in our community who has remained constant in the fight for LGBTQ+ justice as Executive Director of San Diego Pride. Now, we're going to have to give them a moment to get up here. Fernando broke their toe, moving a little slow, but please give a big welcome to Fernando Lopez.
Need Nicole's pink cane. Also, I apologize because I wrote this before Nicole was going to be speaking today, so I'll see what I can edit.
That's worth saying again.
Right? Can I get a hey girl? Hey girl. Okay, I know it's only Tuesday, but we can do better than that. Can I get a hey girl? Hey girl. That is so much better. I want to take a second to acknowledge some incredible leaders. Oh, Mo, actually, hey. So I want to call out a couple of the Spirit of Stonewall awardees who maybe did not get their full time in the sun because we didn't have Pride in the same way. And one of them is Mo Gurton. Give it up for Mo. Champion of Pride. Another champion of Pride that just left because they're so busy they're off to something else. Another champion of Pride is Commissioner Alex Villafuerte, who's our champion of Pride this year. You can give it up for him. Even though he's not here, we'll tell him we applauded. Nathan Fletcher, friend of Pride. That's our way of saying ally. Give it up for Nathan, doing some badass work here at the county. Vanessa Green, hey, this year, you're in good company. Another friend of Pride. So just thank you. There are so many great people here. Thank you for everything that you're doing. And you've heard it already here, but I just want to say, and you've heard me say it before, we don't have Pride because we're free. We have Pride because we are not. And we have seen that Pride events in our celebrations all around the world being attacked. There's been rises in attack, but I'm going to put a name on it that we haven't said yet today, and that is white supremacy. Okay? We are fighting white supremacy and white nationalism. That is our current common enemy. And yes, our Pride celebrations were ignited when we fought back against systemic police violence and brutality, issues that we are still facing to this day. And we don't have to look any further than those rise in attacks or the hundreds of pieces of anti-LGBTQ legislation that are being entered all across the country to know that this is happening now. Now. And some of those pieces of legislation that are being entered are talking about prison time. Prison time. This is happening now. The parents, the guardians, the healthcare providers for our youth, they're already being hauled away. This isn't something that happened in the past. This isn't something that might happen in the future. This is literally happening in this country right now. And I know that's not what we all want to hear. Last week, the Supreme Court talking about taking away our rights. And I'm not talking just about LGBT rights, and let me be clear. Reproductive justice is LGBTQ justice. LGBTQ justice is reproductive justice. It's the same thing. It's the same fight. We are talking about body autonomy. You think we don't need abortions too? This is our fight. You hear it from all of us. We're in this together. They're talking about arresting women and healthcare providers. In this country, this is happening now, today. This isn't something, again, from the past. This isn't something that's maybe going to happen in our future. This is now. Double-sided. And then, Justice Thomas taking specific aim at LGBT rights. And I know a lot of folks are focusing on the marriage thing. He was talking about Lawrence v. Texas. And if you don't know what Lawrence v. Texas is, he is talking about recriminalizing our entire community, period. Period. And that should scare the hell out of all of us. They're talking about locking us up. Sweeping criminalization and attacks like this doesn't start huge, it starts small. And it often starts under the guise of religious freedom. And like, as though LGBTQ people are not people of faith, we are. LGBTQ people are people of faith. Religious freedom is an LGBTQ issue. LGBTQ issues are religious freedom issues. Religious freedom isn't here to harm us. It wasn't there to harm us or to prosecute us or imprison us. Religious freedom is literally there to do that, to keep us free. Religious freedom is an LGBTQ issue. And I don't care whether that hate is coming from a family member or a coworker or a teacher or a faith leader or a county commissioner. Anywhere you have power or privilege, it is your responsibility to face it 100% head on. And so what I need, thank you, okay. And what I need our straight allies to understand in this moment is that when you are from our community, when you are from a minority or marginalized community, when you are under attack and the world is there to harm you, our joy is justice. I say it again, our joy is justice, and each and every one of you deserves joy, no matter who's trying to get in your way. And that is why we have pride. Our community is not going to live in fear or hate or intimidation. We're not going to let it win, because our celebration is justice, and our joy is defiance. And our love is insubordinate. And so we're not going to shrink ourselves and go back into the closet or the prisons of our past. So this pride, we're going to stand up, we're going to root out hate, we're going to march in the streets, we're going to march to those polls, and whether people like it or not, we're going to pursue justice with joy. Happy Pride.
Would someone kindly bring Fernando a chair? I don't want that toe to hurt anymore, but we want you to stay up here with us. Thank you for those powerful words, Fernando. Give another round of applause, Fernando Lopez. Tonight would not be possible without the support and collaboration with our county's LGBTQ&A employee resource group. They've been a great partner. I mentioned them earlier and highlighted them, but appreciate teaming up for Shine Bright with Pride. And please welcome their director, board director, Luis Perez, who works in County Department of General Services. Give a big welcome.
Well, I cannot imagine sharing the podium with a better crowd than this. So I'm greatly honored. Good evening. My name is Luis Perez, he, him, his. And I'm representing the County of San Diego LGBTQ and Allies, the Employee Resource Group. I would like to thank and welcome everyone for joining us at this amazing celebration of pride, diversity, and inclusion. Raising the progressive pride flag for the 4th year, and I was here, well, at the COC. Yes. And lighting our historic county building Rainbow Beautiful for the 5th year, and that's something to be very proud of. I would also like to thank our county leaders. Their continued support is very much appreciated. They bring an enlightened view of diversity and inclusion, understanding how each of us contributes to a bigger picture and working with us to implement that vision. These are challenging times, nationally and internationally. And rather than fall for the fear-mongering, we need to become more authentic and shine even brighter. Proud of each one of our colors. Our biggest impact is always locally. The County LGBTQ and Allies Employee Resource Group is here to support all county employees. Join our meetings, join our board, participate on our Live Well walks, our professional development events, and for sure our social happy hours, very popular. Our biggest impact is helping our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis. Before we lift up the Progress Pride flag, I want to honor a few more remarkable leaders in our community, folks who do a lot of work and are being honored for their contribution, for helping make us a stronger county. And I want to start off with one of my absolute favorite people at the County of San Diego. I have the honor of sitting next to our Chief Clerk, Andrew Potter. He's the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. And I'm lucky to work alongside him. And if you've watched any of our meetings, you know I have the honor of sitting beside Andrew for really long periods of time, extended periods of public comment, which we welcome here. We appreciate the First Amendment and people's right to speak. But as a public administration management professional, Andrew is committed to making a positive impact in local government, and has had a profound impact on the County of San Diego. He does it with a quiet confidence, with a cool demeanor, but with an unmatched competence and leadership. And he also plays an important role in the LGBTQ&A County Employees Resource Group. He is here with his husband, with his beautiful daughter, with his parents. And Andrew, I want to welcome you up, but I want to invite, if your daughter would like to come, bring her. If your husband would like to come, bring them. She's not shy. Come on, give a big welcome to Andrew Potter.
It's fun to be on this side of the podium. Thank you, Chair Fletcher, for this recognition. I really appreciate it. When I think about what pride means to me, I can't help but reflect on the journey. I'm very fortunate to have an incredibly supportive family who has loved me for who I am since I came out as a teenager. As the chair mentioned, my parents are here tonight, and I think they have more rainbow decorations than my husband and I do. They are proudly flying the rainbow flag at their home in Orange County for Pride Month. And while I've had this, incredibly supportive family support throughout my life, I wasn't sure that I would have the level of support in my professional life. And I've worked for local government for 22 years. And I remember early on in my career that I didn't see any gay role models in local government. But it wasn't until I came to the county that I truly felt welcomed to be my authentic self. It was through the leadership of our CAO and this board that we've developed a culture that embraces diversity and celebrates it. Not only am I proud to be part of the LGBT community, but proud to be part of this county that has led the way to create a culture of belonging. I want to thank my husband, my beautiful daughter Emma, who they are the light in my life that keeps me motivated to make a difference for every San Diegan. So thank you so much.
Raise the flag. Emma, you can come back if you want. Hey, Emma, you got to help us raise the flag, okay? So we're going to need you in a minute. You can hang out with your grandparents for a minute. All right, next I want to introduce Ben Mendoza, they, them. Ben is a non-binary, queer, Latinx community builder that is passionate about leadership and community engagement work, as well as advocating for an intersectional approach to justice. They work in the office of Council President Sean Elo Rivera, serves on the Center's board, and they are an all-star volunteer for San Diego Pride. Please welcome Ben.
Hello, my name is Ben Mendoza. My pronouns are they, them. I'm a non-binary Latinx community member who lives and works in City Heights. I first want to thank Chair Fletcher and his outstanding team. I always look forward to any opportunity I have to work with them. They're fantastic. With Pride season upon us here in San Diego, I especially want to thank all of those in our community that have paved the way for so many of us. We would not have the collective power that we do had it not been for the labor of community members like Tracy Jada O'Brien, Tita Viveros, Julia Legaspi, Jaleesa King, Connor Maddox, and so many others. Thank you for all you've done and for all of the behind-the-scenes community work that often goes unseen and unappreciated. I see you and I thank you. And we know that there's still so much more work left to do. We live in intersectional lives, often facing discrimination across multiple sectors that conspire to deprive us of opportunities and resources in our humanity. To my trans and non-binary siblings who are often erased from discussions of reproductive health, I see you. To my trans and non-binary siblings being denied access to gender-affirming care, I see you. To my Black and brown, trans and non-binary siblings who are disproportionately impacted by police violence and homelessness, I see you. Everybody deserves the dignity of knowing that their humanity is seen and honored. To end, I have a quote from one of my non-binary icons, Alok. Gender is not just a word, gender is a story. There are so many ways to be a woman as there are women. There are as many ways to be a man as there are men. There are as many ways to be non-binary as there are non-binary people. This complexity is not chaos, it just is. We do not need to be universal to be valid. We should be able to decide the clothes we wear, the bodies we inhabit, and the people we love. Thank you, and to echo my mentor, Fernando Lopez, remember to celebrate justice with joy. Happy Pride.
Thank you, Ben. Next up is Chris Mock, they, them. Chris is an out and proud trans, non-binary, gender non-conforming, pansexual, Taiwanese, Cantonese, queer. They are proud members of the Queer Asian Pacific Islander Middle Eastern Coalition, and their business, Chris Mock Creation, strives to nourish and heal people through shared meals and to create community gatherings. Please welcome Chris.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to take a moment, and if we could all close our eyes and just breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. And open your eyes again. Thank you for that. I am so honored. My name is Chris Mock. My pronouns are he and they, and I'm so honored to be here tonight. Thank you to Nathan Fletcher's office and to my friend Ana Lara. I work in downtown at the office of State Senator Pro Tem Tony Atkins' office and for Lambda Archives of San Diego. What does pride mean to me? Pride means being my authentic self and being an out and proud trans, non-binary, gender fluid, pansexy queerdo. Pride means representing and loving our LGBTQIA2S+ community. It means standing with and for those that are more marginalized than myself and advocating and being an accomplice for those who are harmed because of anti-Asian hate or any hate crimes for that matter. It means doing the work to connect with folks through organizations like Kapamita, the Queer Asian Pacific Islander Middle Eastern Thadzi American Coalition, where I'm one of the founding members. Pride means creating food, art, and LGBTQ+ events through my company, Chris Mock Creations. It means showing the world who I am and who I'm becoming. Pride means shining bright. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Next, I want to call Jamie, Acevez, they, them to the front. This past spring, they graduated from SDSU with a master's in counseling, pursuing a licensure as a professional clinical counselor, and are also a drag queen performer known as Raquelita. Their goal as a performer is to educate and empower LGBTQ+ youth and individuals to be themselves, creating a safer environment through activism and advocacy. Please give a big Pride welcome.
Hola, buenas tardes. Good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes. My name is Jaime. My pronouns are he, him, él, and they, them, ella. And I want to share with you a little bit about what pride means to me. So as I reflect on the word pride, I think about how today I affirm all parts of who I am. I am queer, I am Mexican American, I am son of immigrants, I am the grandson of farm workers, I'm an educator, I'm a drag artist, and an activist. It's taking many years to unlearn all of the homophobic and racist messages that I grew up hearing from this society and from all systems of oppression. The critiques that invalidated all parts of who I am. My privileges, my education, my chosen family, and my community have all helped me to believe that I do belong here and that I am loved. And so I stand here in front of you all to let you know that I am a proud human being, that I am proud of all parts of me, that I do belong here, and that I am meant to be here. And also, down with all systems of oppression. Again, down with all systems of oppression. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Unable to join us tonight are Addie Huertas and Jeremy Wells, but we recognize and honor them for their contributions and all that they mean to our community. Please give all of our speakers and all of those we recognize such powerful and incredible words. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Now we're gonna raise the Progress Pride flag. The light blue, pink, and white stripes represents trans and non-binary individuals. The brown and black stripes represent marginalized LGBTQ+ communities of color. The black stripe has a double meaning as it represents those individuals who have been lost to AIDS and those who are living with AIDS today. And as we raise the flag, you can begin to see the colors illuminating the building. And again, such powerful words and testimonies from so many folks in our community tonight that remind us of the work that we have to do ahead and all that we have moving forward. And so I'll ask all of our honorees and speakers to join the vice chair and myself, along with Emma and right there, come over, and together we are gonna raise this flag and ask everyone to join us over by the flag. Thank you all.